Okay, so today we are reviewing the lattice method for multiplication of whole numbers. Then we'll move on to decimals, and I'll show you how it works with decimals. So first, let's start with 42 times 37. And we're looking for the product. To begin with, first we need to draw the lattice. And the lattice is a grid. This I know is going to be a 2 by 2 grid because my first factor has 2 digits. It needs 2 rows. My second factor also has 2 digits, so it needs 2 columns. Next step in drawing the lattice is to make the diagonal lines down through the rows and columns, through the array. Right, so now our lattice is ready for multiplying. Begin by multiplying 4 times 7. 4 and 7 are going to come together in this box. 4 times 7 is 28. Now I'm going to multiply my 2 times my 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Next, I'm going to move on to my 3 and my 4. That's 12. And my 2 and my 3. I should have said 4 and 3. 2 and 3 is 6. I'll put a 0 just so that I have a placeholder in that box. But because I'm multiplying 2 here by 3 tens, that's 6 tens. And this area right here, these numbers between these two diagonals are my tens column. You'll see as we add, first we're going to start here in the corner. We're going to add the numbers along the diagonals. In this problem, this diagonal is our ones place. So 4 has nothing to add to it. We're just going to write a 4. Come up to the next diagonal here. I have 8, 1, and 6. I'm going to add those numbers. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 6 is 15. I write my 5 in my, and it's actually 15 tens, right? So I'm going to put my 5 tens here. I'm going to bring my 10 tens, or my 100, up here. Now I'm going to add the hundreds column. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. I have another 5. And then I go to the thousands place, and I only have one number there, nothing to add to it, so I'm just going to put my 1. So my solution for this problem, we'll move it up here, we have 1,554. All right, now, if I were to do a similar problem using numbers with decimals, hang on, I should be able to see both boards. See that? Yes, there we go. If I were going to use similar numbers, but this time the numbers are going to have decimals, we'll do 4.2 times 3.7. So now I have decimals that I'm dealing with. I still need to set up a lattice. It will still have 2 rows and 2 columns because I still only have 2 digits in each number. But as you notice, this time I have a decimal. So when I write my 4 and my 2, I need to put the decimal in between. And I'm going to line the decimal up right on the row line. When I write my 3.7, my decimal is lined up right on the column line, with a line in between the columns. And this is the line in between the rows. So to locate the decimal, well, first let's go ahead and multiply it out like we did last time. Again, I need my lattice drawn before I multiply. 4 times 7 is 28. 2 times 7 is 14. 4 times 3 is 12. and 2 times 3 is 6. And we add on the diagonal. 4, 15. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 more is 5. And 1. Now, just like when we were multiplying with partial products, we essentially have just multiplied those numbers as whole numbers without paying attention to the decimal point. Now we need to place our decimal somewhere in this number. And the way we do that is we look for where the decimal is located, which line between the rows or which line between the columns. You can see this decimal is right above this line, and so it comes down here. This decimal is located right here, and where the two meet is where they're going to start their diagonal trek toward the answer. And so we end up with our decimal right here, and now the answer is 15.54. You can check that with a magnitude estimate. If I had estimated in the beginning, I would have said this is close to 4, and this is close to 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So my magnitude estimate needs to be in the tens. When I look at my answer, my magnitude estimate tells me it should be in the tens. My answer is in the tens because I put my decimal point after the 10, after the 15, which is a number that is in the tens. And that is how you do multiplying decimals using the lattice method.